This episode is brought to you by New Moon Wishing, a self-care guidebook for wishful thinkers. Please see the link in the show notes. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hello, Alison. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks so much for joining me again. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. This is coming under our Wellbeing bucket, and we're going to be talking about STARZTOBER.
Yeah.
So STARZTOBER 2024 is Inktober for astrologers, and I can explain that.
Yes, please do.
So Inktober is an art movement that was first created by Jake Parker back in 2009.
Okay.
And if you go to the blog post associated with this podcast, all the links are there that you can follow along exactly what's going on. So Inktober occurs in October. Every year in October, people do Inktober. And the idea is that it's an art challenge where you do a small artwork every day for 31 days of October.
Yeah.
Now, the main Inktober prompts go out on the 1st of September, and they are very much, I want to say, millennial themed, I gotta say it, and they're talking about other skulls and things that doesn't interest me, but
hilarious.
Yes, but for several years I've been doing my own prompt, which I'm calling STARZTOBER prompts.
Yep. And
these are all astro themed prompts for 31 days in October. Now, I previously did the STARZTOBER in 2021, and I do have some images about that. There's links on the website too, and these are all related little artworks.
Yeah, they're lovely. I'm looking at them right now.
Think a little.
Amazing, like the solar system, Neptune. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, little.
Wonderful little. Is it colored pencil or watercolor? Yeah, colored pencil. Amazing.
Yeah, that's watercolor. Yeah. So, and there's some images on the on Starzology blog post. But the idea is that what's going to happen is that if you go to starzology.com now, you can click on the link at the top that says STARZTOBER, and it tells you all about it. Yeah. But the STARZTOBER prompts will only be released on September the 1st when everyone puts their Inktober prompts out.
Okay.
Now, I know we had a conversation earlier this year, and it seems you're going to be doing PINKTOBER.
I mean, it seems kind of obvious. I have.
Because this is it. You hang around with me, you're going to be doing PINKTOBER.
I miss pink, right? Like, what else am I going to do? Come on. Yeah.
So I would assume then, I'll ask you a little bit more about it. I would assume then for your 31 prompts, you're going to be looking at goddesses. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's a challenge because I can't just do a squiggle then. I can't.
But everyone else is going to be following along. They want your prompts.
Yeah.
So that they can say, oh, it's Athena today.
Yeah. Exactly.
And but you will have 31 goddesses on the list.
Yeah, I will.
On September the 1st, that'll be posted on Miss Pink.
100%.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I've already got. Well, it doesn't matter how many I've written down. Let's just say
you'll have them.
Yeah, I will. It's an assignment. I'm good with assignments.
That's great. So the idea is with originally with Inktober, it was all done with pen and ink. So they do a pencil sketch, then ink over it, and a lot of like tattoo artists pick this up.
Oh yeah, Inktober, fun. Yes.
People in other genres, like the New Age people like us and the arty people like other people and the goddess people like yourself, come up with their own prompts because it's more in line with the type of thing that interests you in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the prompt list from, let's say, 2023.
From who?
Inktober, the official prompt list. Oh. And it's like things like dream, spider.
I know. I don't.
Map. Golden toad. Sure. I mean, these are interesting prompts for like an artist, and you could just squiggle something.
Yeah.
But
we're creatives.
I'm not, super inspired by, drip is one. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is why I never did Inktober, because I didn't like his prompts. So that's why I created my own. And I'll give you another inside point that I don't often say, that previously I've also done Ahatober, which is my Alison Hazel art group. And that is way more about gratitude and meditation and self-care prompts rather than spider and toad. It's more about gratitude and candle and prayer and so on. It's an entirely different set of prompts.
Right.
And that is actually also going to go out on the 1st of September. So I've got the 2 websites going. However, let's talk about these.
So you're going to do 2 sets of 31?
Yes.
Madness.
Yes.
Madness. You're
So, so the idea is that the prompts list comes out on September the 1st, and that gives you time until October the 1st to get organized, because you're going to need, or I believe you're going to need, or everyone I'm recommending is you're going to need your own little bookie or your little bookie to do your STARZTOBER prompts in, or your PINKTOBER. Yeah. And I like to get a book that's got, well, this has got 65 pages, so that's 1 per artwork, and I can actually then do 1 artwork on each page, and I know what it's supposed to be.
With the word opposing it. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. So I like to always draw on the right-hand side and put the words on the left. That's just how we did as kids, and I am right-handed. Yeah. So I have my STARZTOBER 2024 art book ready to go, and I do have the prompts already written in it because I know what they are, but this is a secret until September the 1st. But they are all astrology related. Nice. Now, not every astrologer is going to want to do art. No. But I do, and you do.
Yes. And not every person who isn't or doesn't think they're an artist should be shying away from this. I have dragged a couple, and I say dragged because I have guilt-tripped a couple of people into coming with me to a drawing class, and they ended up totally coming out of their shell and in totally unexpected ways having a great time drawing, which they didn't think they could do, and it was amazing. Like, I can think of 3 different examples, and one of them, it was my partner, because he came with me because my friend canceled at the last minute, and so he was like, I'll come with you, and I'm like, thank you. And this is like back in the day before I would have just been like, screw it, I'll go by myself. Right. But it actually turned out to be amazing. And I kept looking over at his drawings, and I mean, we're drawing a model. She's just like a model up on stage, and I've been doing life drawing classes since I was like a little kid, and would just draw with my grandmother, who always drew women and, you know, nudes and whatnot. But my partner, he had a tiling business, so he has artistic tendencies. He's a musician, but I've never seen him draw anything. Yeah, and he was mapping it out like a grid, like you would do tiles. It was fascinating. So he got all the proportions correct. It wasn't like the most anatomically correct drawing, but he had all the proportions right, which is something that you never see with beginner drawings. Usually they'll do the face is huge, or the hands are really detailed because hands are hard, and everything else is kind of like, you know, out of proportion. But his proportions were perfect. So, yeah, if you don't think you can draw, think about when you were a little kid. If someone asks you if you're 5 years old, can you draw? Of course you can draw. Everyone can draw.
Everyone can.
Draw something.
Now, astrologically, this is tapping into your 5th house. Your creativity is your 5th house. Yeah. Your inner child is coming forward.
Yeah, I have nothing in the 5th house, but I am.
What's on the cusp?
Pisces.
Pisces. Well, there you go. So it's say no more.
Oh, brother. That's hilarious. Yeah.
So the idea being that I like to do art. And I'd love to be a better artist, but I'm the artist I am, and this is where I'm going from. Yeah. So I'm quite happy to do these little art pieces because it makes me do creative work rather than being stuck at the keyboard. Yeah. So you've got that going as well. So to get set up for STARZTOBER, you're going to need yourself a little a sketchbook with at least 62 pages. So you've got one on. There's 31 days in October, so you want to do one on each page, not double-sided, not back-to-back. Probably going to need to use pencils and then I would do black ink over, and I would probably color in. I might do watercolor, or I might do ink, or I might do color pencil. Those are kind of my mediums, right? Yeah. But if you're just pencil, crayon, or you can use markers or whatever you've got going, if you're in astrology, it might be an idea to stretch yourself into, drawing Jupiter or whatever it is, to express yourself. And so the idea is that you win STARZTOBER by finishing the challenge. Yeah. Now, many start, and I have to say there have been many years when I've started, and I think I've only finished it once because it is a bit of a punishing thing, but I do it all the time, and I encourage everyone to do it. So I do have some hashtags there for hashtag STARZTOBER and hashtag STARZTOBER24, because they're different prompts each year. So that's the thing there,
What I like about it is, and I think you'll probably agree, having a lot of planets in Virgo, as we both do, is that it's an assignment. And I'm really great. I'm great with parameters. I'm great when there's there's a structured beginning and an end. And so this is why I did calendars for so long. It was like, there's 12 of them. I've got to do one a month. They're, like they've got to be like spread out across the globe. It's got to be a variety of things. And this is playing right into that. It's going to definitely be a challenge. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish it, but I am hopeful and optimistic.
Yeah. So the challenge is with yourself. It's not with other people.
No.
And that's the good thing about it, because maybe you get to day 7 and you think, I can't do 7, I'll just move on to 8 or whatever it is. And of course you can come back during November and December and finish these off. The point being that I like to set up my STARZTOBER journal ahead of time, where I've got the front page, and I do a nice front page, and then I put the prompts list on the first double spread, and from there I can then say, okay, this is October the 1st, that's my prompt. This is October the 2nd, that's my prompt. And even if I miss a day or miss a beat, I can still go and say, okay, I'm on October 19, and this is my prompt, and you keep going. Of course, you can finish it afterwards if you don't seem to manage it, but. I had one wonderful woman who finished the whole challenge about 3 years ago, and she sent me all her photos, and she was an exquisite artist. And there are links on the blog post. You can go and see what she did. And I'm thinking, whoa, I wish I was that good an artist, but I'm not. But I keep going because I generate all these artworks. And
you inspired someone, which is...
there's that, I suppose. She was living in Croatia and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
And I did an interview with her, and that's also on the blog, so you can have a look at that as well.
That's amazing.
So the idea is that I will probably use coloured inks on some, I'll probably use watercolours on some, and I'll use pencil crayons on others.
Yeah.
I don't really ever get ahead. I only start on October the 1st, but I lay out the actual sketchbook ahead of time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Great idea.
So I'm ready to go with that.
I'm thinking too, like, if you're feeling challenged or harried, or like, if you get started and then you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have any time. Set yourself a timer. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set myself.
This is your first year, right, that you're doing this?
Yeah, exactly. And when you go to a life drawing class, you only have like at most like half an hour to draw a model. Like they'll change poses. Like they'll do starter poses for like a minute or two just to warm up, and then 5 minutes and 10 minutes. Usually the longest pose is like 20 minutes or a half an hour at the most.
Right.
You're asking a model to stay still for that long.
Yes.
30 minutes is usually the absolute max. So I'm going to try to set myself 20 minutes, and that'll be the way I'm tricking myself into doing it.
Well, this is it. Well, you see, now this is it where the competition is with yourself, although you and I will be discussing just how far you got with your goddesses and whatnot.
Totally. And think about, too, like, if you've ever played Pictionary. Anyone, I don't know, generationally, if that's a thing, but yeah, I think you have a flash of recognition. I think we probably both played Pictionary. And I can't remember which comedian said it, but playing it as in couples is kind of like, it should have been called, here's what I would have drawn, which is hilarious.
Yes.
But pretend you're playing Pictionary. If you're like lost for time and you're like, oh God, I wanted to do this, but I don't, I can't think of anything. Pretend that the prompt is like a Pictionary clue and just do it fast.
Go for it.
Give yourself a minute and then just draw something, anything.
Because you're using the other side of your brain, that words is on one side and images is on the other. I'm not sure which is which.
Yeah, it's left brain is logic and words, and the right brain is esoteric, holistic, and also, it's considered the more creative, but they're both creative in their own ways. Yeah.
So the size of sketchbook I use is A5 because that's just dinky and I can get it in my handbag. I don't use the big sketchbooks because, gosh, then I've got to draw a great big picture. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. So I've got the A5 ready to go, and I've already written, STARZTOBER 2024 on the cover.
And if you're in the US, that's about a 5x7-ish.
5x7, well, yes, but whatever it is. Yeah. But it's one that I will just fit in my bag. It's not the big. I never do the big sketches. I just find this is an interesting way to go. And as I say, the prompts will be released on September the 1st. Yeah. So you might be saying to yourself, well, what are you going to do with all this art? So I've got some ideas on what to do with the art you create. Because you've then got the sketchbook hopefully full with at least a few images.
Yeah.
So the first thing you could do is you could do a calendar. You could choose your 12 best artworks and create a calendar. I don't know if people have calendars anymore. I don't know. They used to be huge, but maybe not so much, but you could do
I love to have a calendar. I love having a calendar. Even if I don't like use it, like some people will, you know, write in the square of like things that they've got. I don't necessarily do that anymore, but I like to have it just to see.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to go to the app or like open the thing and just look up and there it is.
So out of the sketches you did, you could choose your 12 best ones and create a calendar for the, for the STARZTOBER or for the PINKTOBER calendars. The other idea that I have is that it could be the basis of the starting of a coloring book, because you can take your outline drawings and create a black outline and create a coloring book. And if you finish the actual challenge, you will have 31 to start with. Now that's not enough for a coloring book. You do need at least 50 to fit in a book if you're going to be doing a coloring book on Amazon like we do. But this is getting you started. It's a way to kickstart this creative endeavor to say, I could do a coloring book about goddesses and blah, blah, blah. And it's a way to get started. That's another way to do it.
Totally.
A third way to use the art that you've created is to create in my case, an astro tarot card deck, or a reading deck. Whereas if you wanted an astrology deck, you would have to have the signs, the planets, the houses, the aspects. And a lot of these keywords are in the prompts. And this would start you off with at least 31 of these artworks. And you could easily push through and make, because I think there's 72 in a tarot deck. But it would be the basis of a creative project that could grow with you later into November, December, and you could finish it off and go with, and as I say, make a tarot deck. Why not? It's a brilliant.
Finish it by Christmas and give it to gifts.
Or by the time you've got your goddesses, if you can do a goddess tarot deck, because we wait for that to come through.
What you did there.
Yes, did you see that? The other way is that what you can do is you could go through and find some wall art. So you could choose your very, very best artwork, have it printed, blown up, and hang it on your wall as part of and it would be a memento to the type of art you are doing at this time in 2024. This is where I am. This is my goddess Athena, or whatever you're doing, or this is my god Jupiter. This is what I drew. This is where I am with my art creation, and this is my best work.
What it is, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It's more interesting than something that you buy at IKEA. No offense, we all love IKEA, but the thing that you get at IKEA in the like $20.
You paint over it.
Yeah, exactly. We've all done it. But it's so much more interesting to have something on your wall that you've created, regardless of your level of talent or skill or whatever. When people come over, they'd be like, what is this? And you're like, oh, it's this thing I drew. Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're anyway close to being an artist, this is a way to inspire yourself in your small way to say, this was the best piece I did for STARZTOBER for 2024. I'm going to print it out, hang it in the frame, put it on the wall, because this is where I am. This is who I am.
And if you do it year after year, you'll have one piece every year that you can then frame and put in your home. And it's just something that you can be like, hey, I did that. You know?
It's absolutely gorgeous, you know. And if you're really inclined, you can put them on Redbubble and everyone else can share in them.
Yeah.
But you would then choose your one perfect piece, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then my final idea is that you're going to end up with the sketchbook. If you don't want to push your stuff out there because maybe you think it's not good enough, you will end up a sketchbook with sketches you've done in 2024 that might be the benchmark for moving forward. So even if you feel they're not good enough to go on the wall or go on a tarot deck or whatever I just said.
Even on Instagram, which
really should. We love Instagram. It's a love-hate relationship with Instagram. But the point being that you will still have this sketchbook, as I do now, where you can go back to and say, oh, yes, look at this. Well, this is the Neptune I did in 2021, or that's the Saturn I did. And really, I know from then I have improved slightly. We're on a slow move forward. But I can look back and say, yes, I created this. And I've got this nice little sketchbook as a memento.
Yeah.
And because I'm an older woman with kids, I'm thinking, well, this is a kind of a legacy book that my kids can show the grandchildren if they ever come. Where you've got saying, oh, well, what did Granny do all day? Well, these are my sketchbooks. You might not be showing them to people, but it's like samplers done in the Victorian era where Mary Jane did some stitching and you think, wow, this is what she did. It must have taken her 6 months to do that.
Yeah, or just the little like a line art that they did, or just like the little art that they did in the margins of their the family Bible or the family books that, that you then inherit. And sometimes we only see the ones that are from like the politicians or like these historical figures, or when something tragic happens and, you know, the entire wagon convoy is, you know, dies, and you find these diaries and they have these little drawings. And
it's like a legacy piece that may or may not survive the test of time. But
I mean, it's sure as hell going to survive better than whatever's on your iPhone.
Exactly.
You know? And
because it's analog, it lives longer.
Yeah.
And we still have Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbooks that we are still looking at and saying, wow, because he did them in a sketchbook.
Yeah, Lewis and Clark's books, like, exactly. And the letters that all these people wrote.
And Darwin's Beagle Trip. We've still got his sketchbooks. And it's a way to get off the scrolling. They call it, the death scroll now?
The doom scroll.
The doom scroll. Yeah. And get off that digital, this is blink, 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 and get onto something where you're actually disconnecting and you're drawing something and expressing yourself.
20 minutes a day for all of October.
Yeah, I think it's, so there are many actual benefits to doing these type of things. Yeah. She said.
The right brain, the left brain, the creative juices, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I say, to complete the challenge, you do all 31 drawings, and you are only competing with yourself. You're not competing with a woman next door, the person on Instagram, or me or you.
Which isn't to say that you can't, because if you are driven by competition, which I am definitely not, but if you are, if you're the kind of person who loves to do any kind of challenge, like jogging or whatever, I don't know, things people do.
Taking the stairs.
Well, okay, that's a personal challenge. But if you're inclined to do these things where you are competing against other people, you know, start up a work group with your coworkers, or with your family, or with anyone who you have like a WhatsApp group with, or whatever, and challenge them.
This is it.
And then you can share your things and inspire each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this is what did you draw? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you're, as a listener, if you're interested in doing goddesses or the female form, then definitely follow Pinktober, what Arwynne's going to be putting out. We'll have a lot more information about that on September the 1st.
And just a caveat, you do not have to actually know how to draw the female form, because my prompts are going to be like Artemis, Athena, whatever. That could be anything. It does not have to be a goddess. What does Athena mean to you? Is it maybe just a helmet? Is it a sword? Is it your dog that was named Athena when you were growing up? Is it just a weird symbol or a shape, or an abstract like splotch of ink, or a multicolored bunch of squiggles or cubes? It could be anything.
Yeah.
Don't be restricted by these prompts. Be inspired by them.
Be inspired by them. Yeah. That is correct. Absolutely it. I mean, because with the Starzology prompts, most of the planets are in there: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and of course you can either draw the planets. You can either draw the planet itself, or the symbol, the god,
or Mars, the
glyph, or whatever it is. But
whatever Mars means to you.
These are great things.
It could just be like the angry face emoji.
Yeah. So as I say, do go through to the blog post. I do have some extend yourself ideas about how to get organized so you're ready to go on October the 1st.
Yeah.
Because you will have the prompts, and I do know some people start beforehand, but I never do, because that's not in the vibe of the actual thing. But you want to have your book ready to go, your pencil sharpened, and it's a great way. October is always many people will be doing Inktober, whichever prompts they're following, and you can chat with people that you know. Say, are you doing Inktober this year? And people are, because it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So whether you're doing Inktober or
it's a hell of a lot more fun than dry February. Or sober October.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. No. So ideally, you would set yourself up. You get your book, get your pencils, and know what you're doing. Yeah. And as I say, that I will write more about it in my newsletter and give you some more clues about what's happening with Arwynne's one as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, so we've spoken about Inktober, we've spoken about STARZTOBER, we've spoken about the upcoming PINKTOBER. Mm-hmm. We're all on the edge of our seat waiting for the prompts.
Yes.
So you guys can get out there, make sure you've got your sketchbook ready, and wait for the prompts to drop, and we'll all get going on working on creative work that's not digital scrolling, that is analog with a pencil, and we're going to try and look after our mental health because of this.
Yes, definitely. This will be fun.
Yeah.
This will be the fun alternative to Sober October.
Yes.
Drink some wine, do the prompts, draw some stuff, you know.
And that's why this is going under of my 7 brackets, this is going under the Wellbeing bracket, because it's one of the Wellbeing activities, astro art. I love it. Astrology is not just, I'm doing a chart, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more to it. It's a fun thing, and you do learn a lot visually as well.
Totally. It's about self-actualization.
Self-actualization. There you go.
Yeah.
So if you found value in this episode, do please share it with anybody who would be interested. You can certainly email us at starzology@gmail.com. Please make sure to get on our newsletter list, and we'll be sending our newsletters out every Sunday. Make sure to follow Arwynne at
MsPink.net. That's MSPINK.
That's right. And if you get on our list ahead of time, you're going to get the Pinktober prompts as well.
Yes, you will.
You're welcome to text us any of your questions, because we're coming up to a new Q&A episode shortly. If you're following us on Apple or Spotify, click the very top link and you can send a text with your questions. And thank you to everybody who sent their questions in. We're really appreciative of that. And you can visit our blog at starzology.com. And there are some freebies for you. I know I'm talking a lot here at the end. There are some astrology freebies for you on the top menu. Click on freebies, go down and get yourself a couple of templates for this and that. Yeah. And we offer a lot of astrology advice. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, thank you, Arwynne, for joining me today, talking about STARZTOBER, PINKTOBER, Inktober.
Yeah, definitely. This is an interesting idea, and I love it, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yes, well, me too. We'll see how we do.
Yes, we will.
And we'll see how you do, and we hope that you join us along with us as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the 2 main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer, or someone who's learning astrology, or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.